Episode 33 of the Clear Shots podcast is brought to you by Pinecast.com. Pinecast.com is an easy-to-use podcast hosting site that lets you post your show to the leading podcast platforms, including Google Play, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher Radio, and more. Sign up for Pinecast today using the promo code R-63F8FB. That'll be in the description to get 40% off your first 4 months. If you have a podcast or are thinking about starting a podcast, there is no better place to do it than Pinecast.com. We use it and we like it. Again, visit Pinecast.com and use the code R-63F8FB to get 40% off your first 4 months. With that being said, Paul is on the podcast today. This one flew by. I feel like time-wise, it felt like no time had passed at all, really, when we did this. We did about 2 hours, and then we had to call it, but I felt like we could have kept going for even longer because the first hour was pretty much just about video games and things like that, but the second hour, we started talking about comedy and the way it's accepted in society and nowadays, like the way that culture evolves and things like that. But yeah, like I felt like we could have done even more. So we'll have Paul back on again eventually, probably not too far in the future. But anyway, I'll stop rambling now and let you listen to the first part. There are 2 parts, so you hear this one today and the next one tomorrow. So enjoy.
Don't give him clear shot. Don't give him clear shot. Don't give him clear shot. Don't give him clear shot.
Let's do this thing. That one's kind of cool. I actually like that.
So big thing happened today. There was a shooting at a Madden tournament.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was a champion, like an
esports thing.
Esports, yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah. And it was four people dead, including the shooter, and then 11 wounded.
He shot himself, too?
Yep. Thank God. Fucker.
He probably lost.
That's literally what everybody thinks the motive was. He lost the game and started freaking out, and you can hear him screaming from another stream. And all of a sudden, in the stream, I'll show you guys the video when we go on break, but in the middle of the stream, you can see a red light get on a guy's chest, and all of a sudden, like,
really?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, dude.
Wait, so did he, like, they don't know his motives, like, the exact motives, like, why he just wanted to shoot up a Madden competition?
Yeah, apparently all they have, since he killed himself, all he had is that he lost his game, and then started screaming at everybody, and then pulled a gun out.
Oh, okay. So he was like, that's like the ultimate rage quit. Like,
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
is.
It's like, but that's
what people, when you rage quit, like, that's what you think about wanting to do. You know what I mean? You're like, I just want to fucking kill this person right now. Fuck this guy. That guy did it. That guy straight up did it.
Yeah. He should have been on Game Grumps.
Yeah.
He's the real Game Grump.
He's mad at all the fucking glitches.
yeah. Oh man, it's probably a government thing too. They're like esports. It's the people that were in the early 2000s saying like GTA causes violence in kids, and they're coming back.
Yeah, they're just trying to. They're trying.
Well,
to
it's like we already know that the government is funding people to train kids how to shoot up schools. Like that was discovered in New Mexico.
Oh.
And then there's evidence that they were going to shoot up a hospital in Atlanta. That was their plan. And they let all the people out on bail, and nobody has heard from them since. And then the compound that they were all training in was mysteriously demolished overnight.
God damn it.
So I don't fucking trust shit anymore. And this all happens right after Alex Jones gets purged from the internet.
Yeah.
I gotta see Cass.
I was watching.
Like, I need Cass to break down America for me. Like,
I was
again.
watching the H3 podcast, and they did an episode about Alex Jones being shut down.
I didn't even know about
and like maybe like 15 minutes into the episode, they got their live stream cut.
And they're not allowed to live stream anymore.
That's what they said, but apparently they talked to him and it was like not really supposed to happen. Like somebody fucked up,
Yeah.
which I don't understand.
Might
how
have been
that
a
happens.
rogue person.
Mm-hmm.
Like a rogue employee. He was like,
Yeah, like
I have pink hair. Go fuck yourself.
yeah, like you can't.
it's always the pink-haired people, dude.
It's
can't
the
talk
pink
about
haired
it.
people.
The fucking next
Jeez.
one. That's the next conspiracy. The fuck is on my finger? G
Jizz?
juice, guaranteed.
It's probably jizz.
Guaranteed.
It's
That is
definitely juice
disgust.
because that thing is rarely used. The only time it's used is
Electric
when you pick it up. It's the only
Where
time
do I
it's
put
used.
it?
In your ass.
It's not gonna. That's not gonna. Oh my god, it fit.
Perfectly, dude. I'm really good at Tetris, man.
Tetris is my shit.
I'm actually pretty good at Tetris too. I played it all the time, like on my phone, and I get to like. There's the one on your phone speeds up when you do like marathon mode or whatever, and at a certain time, it's like way too much. Like you
Yeah,
can't,
like,
you
this
literally
is-
can't do
this is
anything.
impossible.
But what you can do is keep tapping to rotate the piece,
Right?
And
And
it
maybe
stalls.
yeah.
like because it'll give you extra time if you keep rotating it.
Oh,
Like,
it
it
like
won't lock
slows
into
down
place.
the movement of
No,
the
it-
block.
Like when it goes all the way to the bottom, you can still rotate it.
While it's getting until it
Yeah,
gets
until
finally
like
set.
at a certain point it locks in.
Oh, yep.
So you get like an extra couple seconds where you can like slide it around.
I gotcha.
But
What's
that's
the
the
one-
key.
There's the one that's Tetris Blitz. That one is cool. That's the one where
I remember hearing about that. I don't remember playing
it's the
it.
one where you can't rotate the piece, but you can put it anywhere on the screen. So you're kind of building a puzzle,
Wow.
and then so it's not
Yeah.
really Tetris. It's weird.
It's like reverse Tetris.
Yeah.
It's like reverse Jenga.
Well, I watched a video of a dude that's the like greatest Tetris player ever, like ever since it was made, and they had him play VR Tetris, and he fucking decimated it.
That
Like,
seems cool.
yeah, and the VR one is completely different too.
Tetris
because
is the
you have to,
number
like,
one-
Look around and grab the pieces or something like that.
Oh wow.
I guess Tetris is the number one like top selling game of all time.
Mhm.
Oh, I believe.
but
it.
I think
it's everywhere.
yeah,
It's everywhere.
But it also
It's
like
so easy to mimic too.
yeah. It's weird because that could be skewed because it could have come with certain things, or it's also a fucking mobile game. Like
yeah.
that
I
helps.
think part of it too is like every type of Tetris is lumped
Yeah.
into that, just
Yeah.
like how every type of Minecraft is lumped into it.
Well, it's when you look at the list of like the top games, like Wii Sports is on there and shit, but it's like, yeah, but that came with every fucking Wii console.
yeah.
So everybody who bought a Wii contributed to that number, basically, even if they didn't want to play it.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
don't-
never would have thought of that. That's
Yeah, it's a
Uh,
little
yeah.
bit skewed, but I still do believe the Tetris is probably up there, even if it's not technically number one.
because everybody's played Tetris before.
Fuck yeah.
absolutely.
Everybody knows what it is. You can make a joke
It's
about
easy
Tetris
as shit.
wherever you're at, dude.
Yeah, like it's wicked. It's a pick up and play game.
Yeah.
It was one of the first. It has to be at
Mhm.
least. I'm not sure.
It's simple. I mean, anything can fucking.
Dude, are we like? I'm about to jerk off Tetris. Like that is almost a perfect game.
Yeah.
Dude, it really is when you think about
Yeah,
it.
there's almost
It's-
no rage quitting too,
there's-
like because it's always your fault. It's like it's always your fault.
It's true. It's
You know
true.
what I mean? There's
Then
no
there's
game.
like
It's not.
Well, I
like
was
a
gonna
game-
say there's no like age barrier really, because
Yeah,
even,
no
even
doubt.
children can figure out how to stack blocks.
right, and there's not really a game mechanic that's like broken or anything. You know,
No,
it's
except
a
for
very
spinning.
Except for
PG
rotating
game.
yeah.
It's a G game.
It's
really.
like solitaire, but for everybody.
yeah,
But like I know people that like they just play solitaire because it came with every computer. It came with every version of Windows.
yeah. It's like
And,
the only
when
reason
you're
people
bored
played
as shit-
Minesweeper.
Yeah, exactly. Or the fucking space pinball, dude.
yeah.
That's
I
the
remember
best
that.
one. Is that on Android? Because I was actually just thinking.
I'm sure it is. Is Minesweeper on Android? It's got to be.
Guaranteed, dude.
I couldn't tell you. I could not.
I don't
I
play
could not
any games
imagine,
on this
like-
phone, but I will definitely play the shit out of some Space Cadet pinball.
All I play is fucking Yu-Gi-Oh, man. Yu-Gi-Oh Duel Links.
Yeah, pinball
Fucking
XP,
nostalgia every day.
classic Windows pinball for Android.
I could never get into Yu-Gi-Oh because I tried playing
Oh, there's
Duelist of the
Minesweeper.
Roses like way back in the day on PS2,
That was the first
Oh,
one.
and
yeah, that
I was like,
awful.
I don't know how to do any
I remember.
of this.
I remember No, it wasn't West. My cousin Nick let me borrow that one. And, like...
I felt like I had to know the game, though.
Yeah, I don't remember any tutorial or anything.
Yeah. Like,
Oh,
didn't
I like...
really-
Who the fuck was I talking about this one with? Dungeon Dice Monsters? Did you guys play that one on the Game Boy?
Oh shit!
That one
that's-
was sweet.
I don't think I played Dungeon Dice Monsters. No, I played just the fucking Game Boy Color fucking Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Monster shit. But
Mm-hmm.
they have a phone game that's fucking... The only reason I keep playing it, honestly, is because I happened to play it the fucking day it came out, and they just gave you free shit.
What's this? The Yu-Gi-Oh game?
Yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links phone game. It's free.
problem
Oh,
with
yeah.
Just-
I think I downloaded that when you were telling me about it.
Yeah,
I
I mean,
haven't really played it, though.
It's one of those things, the only reason I still play it is because I started early and I fucking was able to get all this free shit so that I could buy all the things I wanted, and now they've put so much in it that if you start now, you're probably going to just be overwhelmed with how much content is in it, and it forces you to pay at that point,
It's like,
because I play it free. And
See, that's the thing is a lot of phone games, like, just... It gets to be... Like, you get to a point where, like, you want to spend money on them. That's
Right.
the problem.
and that's the trap in
A
that.
lot of phone games aren't that great anyway.
You're right.
no. And a lot of them, I think we only liked because it was there's a lot of phone games I had on both my Android and my iPhone that I really only played because I was in a place where I didn't have a console,
Mm-hmm.
like school.
Yep.
Or at at somebody else's dorm.
The problem is they're never gonna, like, get to be, like, actually good unless you can have, like, a Bluetooth controller, like, with you all the time.
Yeah.
Because, like, you can't...
Right.
The touchscreen controls, like, never really work. Like,
Yeah, there's only so much that you can do that's practical enough.
Yeah, I think like the only phone games I will still play are the Final Fantasy ones because
It's turn-based? Or?
it's turn-based.
Yeah.
The controls aren't bad for
Right.
being touch controls, and also it's impossible to have. You can't have Final Fantasy 1 through 9 on one console, but I
Mhm.
have all of them on my phone,
Right.
which is fucking insane.
There's some that would probably translate well, I would imagine. But I
Yeah.
think with games with more complicated controls, there's not much you can do. Even PUBG
Right.
Mobile is, like, a difficult thing to play
Yeah.
because you're doing the analog stick things on the screen, and
I
that's...
hate that. It's
Yeah,
it
it
never
takes up
works.
your screen.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. You're covering a fucking 20% of your screen.
Yeah.
And I love like Final Fantasy on the phone because the battling is so smooth with the touchscreen.
Oh,
It's so
I
much
bet.
easier to pick
Yeah.
targets and cast
Right,
spells
yeah.
and stuff. Like it's so smooth, and it like even makes random battles exciting
Right?
because there's
That's-
something about like you're actually controlling your dudes. You know,
It's a
That's
little more
cool.
physical.
Yeah.
A little more in-depth.
like and that's what I liked. What was it? The Stick of Truth with the combat where you had to time it. You played
Oh,
that, right?
yeah.
South Park.
Yeah, you'd have to press A or whatever.
Yeah,
but-
and like Paper Mario, I think was the first game to do that, but I never played Paper Mario. I heard it was
Yeah.
really good.
It was good. Yeah, I played
I
it.
don't
Oh
think
my
I played
god,
that
I was
either.
like 10 or 11 when that came out. That game was one of those games where it was so innovative for its time that it blew everything out of the water that was like that.
Mhm.
Yeah. I remember a lot of talk about it. I just never played it, I don't think.
I never had a Nintendo console. I always had a PlayStation,
Hmm.
and I was always playing Final Fantasy or Metal Gear. Metal Gear. Metal Gear.
Yeah, I remember. It was fucking... Man, the PS2 era was amazing. If you think
It
about
still
it.
is in its own right.
The fucking Twisted Metal Black and
Oh yeah,
Time Splitters.
SmackDown.
which is coming back under
Yup.
some other studio. which
Uh,
is- I just
try
hope
not-
that it has as much content as number 2 or number 3 had, where it
Yeah.
had like the crazy matches against bots with the ridiculous gun combinations.
The ridiculous gore.
I never even had that game. The only time I ever played it was when we were in Wormwood and we would play before like
Yeah.
shows and shit.
Yeah, that was fucking.
That was the only
nostalgic.
time I'd ever played
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Oh my god.
I am the governor. Pick me. I'm quite handy. And then they do that stupid fucking dance.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was so thrown off by the entire thing because
Everyone plays monkey. Everyone. They had like different types of monkey. People played monkey so much.
they were just all those games were so built for like couch co-op,
Yeah.
and they're not like that anymore. Games are number one, games are more demanding. So didn't we just talk about this?
We literally just talked about this.
It's just harder to run fucking games when you're running four.
We were
four
talking about how
screens.
Halo 5 got rid of split screen, and everybody was pissed, but they didn't realize that logistically it's just not possible.
Yeah,
Back then, it was like, you could do it. You could handle that.
that was how you played multiplayer. Is You played with the people sitting next to
Yeah.
you.
Well, plus now everybody has internet. Everybody has their own console.
Yeah.
Everybody can just party up and
Yeah.
And nobody really ever does. I never do. Fuck that,
Yeah.
dude. I always like.
depends on what I'm playing. I mean, you got it for PUBG or something. Like,
Yeah, that's the only game I ever see myself ever really playing with other people again. Like, and I got Battlefront 2 the other day because it was $9, and I played it for like 30 minutes, and I was like, I cannot. Like, it's good, but it's just like
That's the
I am
thing.
not spending a ton of time on it to unlock all the shit.
Right. That's what I was saying. It's like it feels like a great game and everything. It's just that there's not replayability. I don't think. I do like the space battles. Those are fun.
Well, it's missing the thing from the original ones where you could just, like we just said, we could just turn it on and start a 2-player like campaign or like the Galactic Conquest, which was like Risk.
Yeah.
Remember that? And after every battle, you could buy an upgrade. Or
That was fucking cool. Yeah, I remember just meeting up with. Hey,
Right, 'cause you would have
this
to-
weekend. Let's go play fucking Battlefront and play through a campaign and shit.
Yeah, and that Galactic Conquest needs to come back anyway. I mean, it's like you
'Cause
you
that
pick
was
the planet you want to
intense.
attack.
Yeah.
And if you lose, they control the planet, and then you get knocked back, or if they're on the attack. I think they get a turn or whatever.
but you could do it against each other.
Yeah.
Like that's what we did in college, and we would do that like.
And then you're just
basically-
playing the same 2 maps over and over because you're
Yeah,
fighting.
dude, it was.
Fucking.
Well, I remember we would do hardest difficulty because then it's just unfair. Like you would get get stomped by the AI because they'd have like laser sights basically.
I used to always use the fucking green
Clone Trooper.
clone trooper, yeah,
with
because
the
he'd have
jump
the
pack
pistol,
and the EMP.
the pistol,
that was like. Yeah.
you could just
See,
use
like-
that as a primary.
There's just so many games that, like Time Splitters, is a big one that you just don't see anymore. I can't remember who bought them, but all I know is that the guys that actually worked, like the
On
guys
the
that
game?
actually worked on the original 3, are actually part of that studio,
Oh, that's great.
and
Hopefully they keep.
That has to
and
feature of it.
remember the thing that's been going on for years called Time Splitters Rewind? Those guys
Right.
were trying to remap it or re-release it under the Cry engine, and it's just a team of like 8 dudes. Apparently, they're getting hired into the company too, and they're just gonna fast forward. I'm just so
Right.
excited because
Bring in a bunch of the content they were working on.
Yeah,
and
it's
have
really-
more people to develop it with.
and like
Wow.
IO Interactive did all the old Tomb Raider games, they did all the old Hitman games, and they did Chronicles of Riddick.
Is that who brought it up? IO?
Or no, it was Eidos.
Eidos?
So they did Chronicles of Riddick, the Lara Croft games,
No shit.
Time Splitters, Perfect Dark, or not Perfect Dark, GoldenEye. Some of the dudes did GoldenEye
GoldenEye was cool.
because like the
I'm-
health
I'm-
bar was literally
No doubt.
GoldenEye.
I'm just really interested to see how arena shooters play out nowadays.
Well, like Overwatch,
It's kind of an arena shooter, but
it's more of what is it like a team or no a class based shooter.
because
Yeah.
I don't even think Halo would work. Like original Halo would really work now. It's weird.
It's too slow.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
too slow
People
paced.
want really
People
fast
are,
games, and Time Splitters was pretty quick,
yeah.
especially because each character had their own abilities and stuff.
But it's like games like Doom. I mean, people liked it, but it didn't seem to hold a player base. You know,
What was that one game? where you and
Quake
Sean were
Champions.
super
Didn't
excited
Quake
about?
Champions just come out like
Quake
not too long
Champions
ago?
apparently is amazing, and I have a ton of friends that completely left Overwatch just to play Quake.
Really?
That's all they play. Yeah.
Oh man,
Like
I didn't know it came out.
Yeah, I might be in early access,
I think it came out.
but yeah, Dan and Zamaya, and one or two other dudes that they play with. They all only played like Counter-Strike and
Well, the difference is
Overwatch, and now they're playing Quake Champion.
the difference is with that your base speed is fast, so
Yeah.
you already are moving fast. There's no sprint mechanic.
Right.
I think that's part of it. I think that is part of the reason. I think people also are so used to like loadouts and shit like that now. They're used to like being able to get like customize everything, like their character and their weapons, and fucking get skins and
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good when maybe we're just getting older and we're used to stuff now. But even if I go back and play COD 4, Modern Warfare 2, or even World at War, like the older Call of Duties or the older Battlefields where you had loadouts, where it was a loadout, but it was more minimalistic.
Mm-hmm.
But I also liked Battlefield where if somebody was shooting at you with an AN-94, you kind of knew what their playstyle was. Because each gun was so different from the other one, where each one needed an exact playstyle. And it seems like a lot of the games now, like Battlefield 1, every gun is just kind of a different skin. And like the Call of Duty games, Call of Duty is like, there's going to be 2 guns in every category that are head and shoulders above the rest.
Yeah, I think Battlefield 1 was on sale for like $5 or something.
That's $5 too much.
I was like,
I got it for free.
Yeah.
I bought it like for Christmas 2 or 3 years ago when it came out, and I played the tutorial, and I was like, meh. I just couldn't get into that.
The whole,
it
I don't
didn't
know,
have the appeal for me.
the horses kind of bug me for some reason.
Yeah.
The whole art style kind of bugs me.
I didn't like that they changed the way the vehicles work now, where you have to spawn into them.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like in Battlefront, you have to pick up the token.
It just doesn't
It doesn't feel authentic.
feel like,
Right.
it doesn't really feel like Battlefield. It's kind of weird.
Like,
It does and it doesn't.
Like
watched-
the concept is that like, oh, you're a new trooper that specializes in the tank or whatever, but it's like, I don't know. They're trying to make it fast paced, but the thing I liked about the original Battlefields is it was sandboxy more so. So it was like you could fucking get into a tank, move it somewhere, put some like have like a mine down, drive the tank over it, and then like get out and blow up the mine and have the tank launch into the sky and crush someone or blow up a plane or some shit.
Like, it was the ridiculousness about it that was so fun.
Yeah.
Like, I remember Bad Company 2 playing that, and like I'd play with my buddy Sam and Nick, and I would get on like a 4-wheeler, and we would all have like we'd be the C4 specialist. We'd each have like 6 bricks of C4. We'd each put 6 bricks on it. I'd go speeding into the command point and just kamikaze myself and blow up the whole building, take down like 6 dudes and take out the command point.
It seems like there's less and less of that now. It's like, just
people want to be told how to play the game.
Well, people like realistic games now, you know? I don't think people like
sandbox, more natural, organic feel.
It seems like more games are like moving towards that instead of allowing you to like just play around and fucking do goofy shit.
Right.
That's why Just Cause was like a big thing, because games were like trying to be too realistic at the time. Just Cause was like, fuck that, we're just gonna like let you fuck around.
Fuck that, here's a grappling hook.
Yeah, right.
That's all
Here's
they needed.
A tether that you can just put on everything.
Like, they're like, let's take Grand Theft Auto and give you a grappling hook and constant
and make the map
parachutes.
way too big for everybody else. Like, I think I owned Just Cause 2 on like every console it came out on. And I
played like a little section of the map.
Yeah.
I
did all the special shit. Like, I remember there's a yacht that only comes around during a certain game time, like in game, and you could go on this yacht and just fuck it up. And then you have like a 300-foot long yacht that you can just drive around.
Fucking,
no shit. I didn't know you could drive it.
I always used to just tether my vehicle to like certain things and then just drive the vehicle and pull them down, like the statues and shit.
Yeah.
That was so cool.
I liked tethering people to the gas cans and shooting them and having them fly around.
Yeah,
and then they blow up and the person ragdolls like a fucking missile.
Yeah, that was the best.
Lynching people.
Yeah.
I love that you can just tether them to anything.
Yeah.
And every time they're just like, what the fuck is this thing?
Yeah.
They have no idea. They're like, yeah, we know this fucking crazy batshit guy named Scorpion. He's going around grappling hooking everybody.
Oh my god.
But they still act shocked when it happens.
Somehow he has a double-sided like grappling hook.
It's so funny how they make him Scorpion. And it's like they're playing Mortal Kombat and they're like, Scorpion's the best character. And they're like, I'd love to make a game that was just you play Scorpion
and you kill terrorists. But
he's got that cool attack, so let's just make that attack something you can do for
I
everything.
didn't play the third
and it
one.
became Just Cause.
I only played the second.
Yeah, I never played the third one either. We watched a ton
I
of
didn't
fucking
either.
game clips of the third one, and it looked way too buggy.
Yeah.
Because it was on sale for like wicked cheap, and we were watching a dude.
Oh yeah, that's right.
We found this guy that he was streaming it, and he had like 500 viewers, and we went and watched all of his old streams, and it was just such a mess. Like it was like
believe it.
with Saints Row. Saints Row 1 was serious,
Yeah.
and 2 was like cranked up,
Yeah.
and then 3 was just like.
Yeah,
Way
everything's
too out
out the
there.
door. Like
Mhm.
nothing is natural in that game.
Yeah. Like
It's
I remember
ridiculous.
Saints Row 3, you literally start off with basically every gun in the game. Like
Is
you
that
don't
the
even have to
one-
unlock anything.
Yeah. I think you're
Is that the one where you're the fucking president or
No,
something?
that's the fourth one, and
That's-
that one's weird because you get superpowers.
yeah,
But you
they
also
make you
fight
a
aliens.
superhero, and then
Yeah.
the fifth one or something, you're like in the internet or
There's one where you're in
you
hell.
get like put in the internet or something at one point, and it's
Yeah.
like you're not real anymore. And then they do like a heaven and hell thing.
yeah,
that one.
was Saints Row went off the rails quick.
Yeah.
I just lost it.
The second one came out backwards compatible a few months
Yeah,
ago, and it
that
actually
was actually-
aged really well.
Yeah, that was a good version. It was still over the top ridiculous, but it was more like GTA, and
Yeah, that's what they needed it to be. There's like a sweet spot there.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. And then they just kept adding a different
It
concept.
seems it seems like GTA is just moving into that sweet spot though. They're like, because Sean was fucking playing the other day, and he had the fucking
The hover, the Harrier, it was like a
the
car.
DeLorean.
It was a
Yeah,
DeLorean,
DeLorean,
that you could
really.
fly around like a Harrier
You
jet.
literally can just
and it
fly
had
around.
missiles and shit.
God damn, that's
So like,
crazy.
I think there's like a motorcycle with like a rocket, like it literally rockets you. Like it's like it has a boost like in Rocket League or some shit, and you can shoot yourself up into the air and fucking like halfway across the map.
Hey, well,
It's turning into
sandboxy.
getting crazier,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I
at
mean,
at least in
that's
the
where-
online mode.
Yeah, that's where I
think,
was imagining. Like the base game is classic and it feels.
I think
good.
that's how it should be.
And when I first came out and they're like, oh, they're doing GTA Online, and that clicked with me. I was like, holy shit! Like they plan on doing this. This is the last GTA, and they're just gonna do GTA Online, and make that their.
It has
They'll
been.
develop it,
Yeah.
and they've gone so far with it, and they've gone in the right directions so far. It's like I can't play it so much anymore because it's so much content,
Mm-hmm.
and I get like
I-
to the
I
point where I
see-
can't.
Yeah,
I
like
can't
I keep
ingest
seeing
everything, so I can't do everything.
exactly. Yeah, I keep seeing updates for it. Like, hey, this is new. Like, come check this out, and then we'll give you a couple $1,000s for free or whatever.
Right?
And then I'm like, well, okay, I'd like to check it out, but I also don't want to buy shark cards because at this point, I'm not going to grind to make the
Yeah.
money to do all that shit. Realistically, it's a smart move business wise
Right.
because, like, technically, all you'd be doing, it's almost like you'd be paying for the DLC.
Right.
So, but you can pick and choose which DLC you want, but you also have access to it anyway if you grind enough.
Yeah. Yeah.
So-
They give it.
And that's what
to
Sean
your eyes.
does.
Yeah,
Sean
yeah.
grinds like a motherfucker, and he has like everything that you could want.
Hmm.
Yeah.
He pretty
that
much
comes-
just saved up for the DeLorean and then stopped playing.
That's how I imagine it would be. Because that's how it was early on for me too. Is I would just do the shit
Mm-hmm.
and grind, but then I realized that they were putting so much content in, and I would stop and play another game for a month or two, and come back and be like, "Oh fuck, I need to."
There was a
Yeah.
point.
Like I have to spend money if I'm gonna catch up to where I want to be.
Yeah, there was a point where I kind of regret spending as much as I did, but there was a point where there was a glitch where you could buy a car and upgrade it fully, and then
like,
trade
sell
it
it?
in. You
Oh
sell
yeah,
it, but then you like log out and log back in, and you still
Oh,
have the
shit.
truck, but you make the money from selling the
Yeah,
truck.
I remember.
And then you
that
could just
fuck.
keep driving it into the fucking it was like a
Yeah.
super lifted fucking truck.
Yep.
And you could keep driving it into the fucking garage and make like 150,000 every
Yeah.
time you do
that
it.
was
Yeah.
like way in the beginning, right?
Yeah. And
Yeah,
I would do
yeah, it
that
really
for
was.
hours just listening to music. Just do
Yeah.
it in the background. And then I'd
Yeah.
end up with millions and millions of fucking dollars.
Yep.
And then I spent it all on a bunch of stupid shit.
There's shit like that, like when you do in the main game, when you work the online stocks,
Yeah.
you can like invest in shit and then wait for the stock to go up. But then if it's you like save it at a point when you first invest and then you log out and then you get back in and like the stock number is a random number
Oh, so
and
you
sometimes
just
it
wait.
goes up randomly. So you can be like, oh, I'll save it here. But then like sign out, get back in, and it might go up, it might go down. If it goes down, you reload. And then, oh, it's a random number. It might have gone back up, and then you save it there. And then you do the same thing over, and then until it's like it peaks out at a point, and then you can sell it and get like a shit ton of money.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the only way you do it. And it was the same concept, but for some reason it was working on a car that you bought that was at such a certain price, and you put money in it by like souping it up, and then
Yeah.
and
You would just put all the upgrades into it you could,
Yeah.
basically.
and then it made it the value of it go
Yeah,
up.
like they would pay you more for it because you did so much work to it,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden you can just you get the car back every single
Yeah.
time that you sell it.
Yeah, so you're just flipping it and
like
making a
infinite
profit.
versions of the fucking truck.
Did I show you guys the fucking taxi cab challenge from GTA 5? I think I either sent it to you or I put it in the chat.
Oh no, I didn't.
There's a point in the map where there's a mountain trail that you're supposed to like dirt bike on or mountain bike on
Okay.
in the game. But if you go to a specific point, like a specific intersection on the map, and you call a cab, and you have your waypoint go through the motocross or mountain bike trail, the cab will go through it as a cab. And if you press the button to have them hurry, which makes them by default go 50 miles an hour, it's the funniest fucking shit in the game,
No
dude.
way.
I literally, the other night, I spent like an hour and a half just watching the cab driver fuck up every single time. And like this dude on Reddit was saying that he did it daily, like all the time, and was streaming it, and it took like over 100 tries for the cab to make it to the end of the trail. Because like it's all turns and fucking ramps,
Yeah.
and there's no railings at all. And there was one where the cab kept falling off the cliff and then would go all the way, like get back on the road and go all the way back on the
Oh
trail.
my God.
And then fall off on the same spot. Like
Really?
there was one point where the cab driver, like the car was rolling out, and like I got glitched out of the car, and I was standing on the hill watching the car go. And the cab driver glitched out of the car and then just got immediately crushed by the cab rolling down the
Oh my God.
Like, that's something I discovered like a week or two ago, and it's the funniest thing. There's
See, I
It's
miss
like-
Sandbox.
There
I
is
miss
a lot
games
of-
that are sandboxy.
There's a lot of shit you can do in GTA if you just play around.
well, I spent like a half hour just Googling shit, because I was like, I played through the story so many times, and I was bored of it, and
Yeah.
like, I like getting random cars and like driving around, and like just doing the
Just
like
cruising feels fun. in
yeah,
that game,
cruising,
too.
and
Yeah.
then like the random events that pop
Oh,
up when
yeah,
you're
yeah.
when
Yeah,
the
I forgot about that.
And like, and every time it's a random thing. Like, I mean, it's generic. It's like somebody stole my money, somebody stole my car.
Right.
Oh, I
Right,
just
yeah.
got carjacked. Or well, yeah, I just got carjacked.
Right. I like
stuff
the
like
ones
that.
where it's like you're chasing the car. Like one time I had one where I legitimately couldn't get the guy for like a half an hour. and I
Yeah,
was
and
just
it gets
chasing
so
him down.
intense.
Like it might not have been that long.
I
but
love
it
how
felt
the
so
idea
intense.
is that you're a guy who steals cars like all the time, but like when someone else does it, you have to fucking be the bigger man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I want
Like,
to
like, you just you're like the good guy all of a sudden.
right. You're like no,
Like,
no,
oh,
no.
oh, this guy stole somebody's purse. Like, I'm gonna go be the fucking good guy.
and
Yeah,
you
right.
never give the money back.
Yeah,
Even though it's only
it's
like
all-
$100.
Yeah, because if you do, she's gonna take a 20 out of there to give
Yeah.
it to you.
Right. Exactly. And it's not, there's no real moral compass.
No,
So
there
it's
isn't.
like,
It's just
and they just keep coming back.
they
man.
should literally have like a system where you have like
a moral.
like you can be good or evil.
yeah, right.
like Infamous.
or
Yeah,
Fallout.
yeah, like just kind of like like the shit that you do that's not like against the law. Like is going to push you that way.
Right, and affect like they could do
Towards,
a
like, an outlaw
stat
sort of
kind of
status.
thing. Like if it could fuck with your stats.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
like the other thing I was thinking is like have it like they don't have the physique thing where like in San Andreas you could be wicked fucking fat
Yeah.
or whatever. And I was thinking like it would be cool if they implemented shit like that where like if you smoke cigarettes your characters can't run as fucking far, but like it also adds like a stat
just,
that like fucks with your
well,
like
they have a stat for what is
Strength.
it?
Strength
Lung
and-
capacity
Right.
for when you swim.
yeah.
But
They could have done that.
But like what I'm thinking is where they had stats like a moral thing where like it doesn't necessarily help you, but it gives you something that like it trades off like in a way.
to
So
fit
like
your play
Is it
style.
sort of like
right,
in,
like so it makes it so your character can get into something that it normally couldn't, like by smoking you lose lung capacity, but you're able to fucking interact with a certain other type of people, and that gives you a separate mission.
yeah, like you
somehow.
fit in. You fit
Like,
in with the smokers.
yeah, like you fit you fit in like a smokers club or some
Yeah.
shit, you know. So now you can
you like smoke with the people outside
interacting-
the strip club and shit.
yeah, I don't know, like but like something hypothetical like that. Like
there's a
if you go
character
and
that
get,
looks exactly like me.
like if you go, like if you go and drink at a bar, you can go and get fucking shit faced and fucking wake up in the middle of nowhere, all of a sudden doing a mission, you know.
That actually is fucking. That was in Skyrim, where if you go to
Yeah, kind of like that.
My mic is totally off right now. There was a Skyrim mission where you go to once you get to a certain level, you go to a bar, and as soon as you walk in, this guy comes up and he goes, "Hey, you look like you can hold a drink." He goes, "I have a ton of money. Let's get fucking wasted." And you get wasted with him, and then you lose all your items, and it's like The Hangover. You lose all your items.
shit.
You have to
You
figure
gotta
out what you
piece
did,
together
and then it
what-
ends up being one of the fucking princes.
Oh,
One of the Daedric.
Daedric.
We have a
princes.
Mike Tyson tattoo and shit.
Yeah, you get the you get the
monkey.
rose. You get the sanguine rose where you can summon the Daedra warrior.
Oh yeah, I remember that shit. Yep.
But yeah, no,
Yeah.
that'd be sweet because there's like we just said, there's a lot to do in GTA, but it seems like a lot of it you have to do yourself.
Yeah.
Which goes back to where, sandboxes are awesome, but your imagination can only hold you over so much.
Exactly. Yeah.
And it's
Right.
like,
That's my problem.
a
Is
lot of-
coming up with shit.
yeah, like a lot of developers are with sandbox games. It's either here you go or here you go, but you can only do this.
That's the idea of
Right.
Minecraft.
But there's
though.
nothing in the middle.
That's the idea of Minecraft, though, is to let you just do whatever. And that, for me, like, that's the reason
We
I
played
don't like
that
it.
so much.
That's the reason I don't like Minecraft, is because
Oh yeah, you don't like.
I'm
Minecraft.
not.
Fucking weirdo.
I have
I
it.
can't get into it anymore. I remember playing it.
We
or
played it
when
a shit ton
yeah.
when it first came out.
Yeah,
I
when
got
it
it for
was-
free, but I
Yeah.
never played it, really. I just
There's
don't
only
think
so
I have
much you can get into it for, because it's so sandboxy. It's like
That's
I feel like
probably
I'd
the most
spend a
free-
lot of
That's the
time-
most freedom you get in any game.
but
Right.
it's also not completely interactive
No.
because it's not like there's difference in how you play the game. It's the same game.
Right.
You're farming
Yeah.
and looking for materials to make this thing that you can sandbox more with. But it's like I had this vision for a game where it's you like create a character and that character could do like all kinds of shit. You choose like what it can do, what your character can do. Like he could just be a dude and give him guns and shit, and he can go around in a map, this big sandbox map, and shoot at shit. Or you could make a character that fucking creates other objects that do these things, and then you just get into a game with all these other players that for like 25-minute matches, kind of like a big map like pub, and you go and you do your own thing, and like the thing that you choose your character to do gives them like points or some shit. So like each character, each player in this big map isn't trying to do the same thing. They're
Right.
all doing their own thing. And
The
like
problem with when you have a ton of people in one online game and they are free to do whatever they want is
Griefing.
that they're gonna fuck with you.
But
Yeah.
that reminds me exactly like Star Wars Galaxies. Did you guys ever play that game?
I think
I
so.
never played
Before they added
Galaxy.
Jedi to the game, because the whole point was that the original trilogy, not the Galactic Civil War,
That's
right?
That's
the original trilogy, right? Yeah. So the Galactic Civil War is going on, but you are just a smuggler, or you're a bounty hunter, or you could be like a shopkeeper.
okay,
And like
yeah.
your whole point in the game is you build up and you want to create like an empire on a random planet. Like my cousin Nick and I used to play the shit out of that. And there's actually a really cool series on YouTube called Death of a Game, where this guy goes in depth about all these mostly MMOs. And it's like they're like 45-minute videos
Okay.
talking about what the game was about, what ruined it, and what it is now and stuff.
Yeah, I've seen videos like that. On
Yeah,
certain-
another one was Hellgate London. I don't know if you guys
Oh,
played
shit.
that. You guys
I
remember
remember
that
hearing-
game? I
yeah.
remember getting the Game Informer magazine for
Yeah,
that,
exactly.
and I pre-ordered it that day. Like as soon as it was, and it died basically
Before
because
launch almost.
yeah, like basically because nobody. It was trying to be a cross between Diablo and WoW,
Yeah.
and
I didn't think of it that way. Yeah.
because it was
It
ARPG but with guilds, and it was kind of like.
World of Warcraft's still pretty fucking big.
It's
Oh,
not as big as it
absolutely.
used to be, but it is still
It still
fucking
has a
ginormous.
fucking lot of players.
Yeah, but yeah, Star Wars Galaxies is exactly what that reminded
Right.
me.
But
of.
I'm not thinking like a huge area. I'm thinking like
like a city.
yeah, like a couple cities. You know,
Mhm.
kind of like pub where it's big enough to lose people on, but also like big enough to go and do your own thing, and then like
Right.
regroup and meet up with other teammates or some shit.
What was that?
'Cause-
PUBG maps are big, but it's like the thing is like the whole idea of that is the circle. So
Yeah,
that
the
you
circle,
Can't, so
yeah.
that you can't just fucking stay in
get
one spot.
lost. Yeah, but that's where I was saying like it could be a team thing where so you might not be a guy that runs around and shoot other players, but you might be a guy that can fucking get around, do shit like interact with the environment or something, and then while your other teammates are fucking doing their shit, they could be like fucking over the other team by being like a gun dude, or like, but like it would still have like enough customization where you could choose to be completely passive aggressive, or you could be all these like passives, and then you have at least one attack so you can fucking
Yeah, you're
stun a
saying
dude and then get away with this other thing you can do.
basically
I want to be the damsel in distress.
You basically want an open
Right?
world game
Fucking-
with a ton of player choice. Like
Yeah,
basically.
really, I do. I really do want a lot of player choice where they can fucking.
The
Just
thing with
have-
that is also providing the assets for that.
right?
Because you basically have to cater to the imagination of everybody.
Yeah. Well, it would start off like really cut and dry, where it's like
Yeah,
okay,
you're in your
there's
underwear, you're in your Hanes whitey tighties. You start
Haynes
off with-
32. Haynes
Yeah.
cut and
32.
dry Hanes.
56 toothpicks. 56 toothpicks. Who's on first? What's on second? Who's on first? Who's the pitcher tomorrow? I'll be Rain Man. I'll be Rain Man in distress.
Fuck it. Well, like I was thinking, like you could have a guy that it'd be like you choose a loadout maybe or a class, and that class has like 20 options, or not even like 15 options, but you only get to choose like 6 of them. So like you have
You have
some.
to develop everything yourself.
Right.
So, like, you and I could both be the same class, but we could also be radically different from each other.
Yeah.
But we're kind of going towards the same goal. It just depends on how we go about it.
Yeah. Or you could, and have it be like a tier thing. So, like, you choose a class and you get 5 things out of that class. And then you get another point to put into another class and get 5 things out of that class, or put it back into that same class, and now you got 10 things out of that class.
I want to make love to your imagination, Paul. I really do. I really do.
know if you
Every
can do
time you get going, I get so fucking excited because it's just like, oh my god, yeah, no,
You just got to get him revved up. dude.
Right. And
Pull the string.
you're like a deaf Jack Russell Terrier.
right. And I mean, I'm only taking like pretty much what like basic RPGs, D&D takes,
Yeah.
but like just have it be like cross-classing things, and it's like you get a static thing with one class, but you can invest more into it,
Mm-hmm.
and then and
you
maybe
can have
it's
ogres, and you can have knights, and you can
Yeah.
have presidents,
right.
and
donkeys.
You can have, like, fucking
Right. And then you can,
squirrels and,
and
shit.
then you can fucking also be invested in another class that lets you fucking have 2 guns and shoot shoot other shit.
Like, you could be a wizard donkey if you wanted to.
a wizard fucking donkey.
Yeah.
Voiced by Eddie Murphy.
Right?
Yeah. I feel like
That's a free
been
option. Yeah, that's a
I-
free option.
That's
Like-
the Shrek DLC.
My favorite, like, ever since I was a kid, my favorite games have always been sports games. Whether it's Madden, NBA, hockey. Recently, it's been MMA,
I think
WWE. But I would love a sports game where you have a life outside of the sport.
Yeah, remember
the old
NBA
Madden games.
2K when they had like you have your like the crib or whatever. You'd
What
have
was
like
this
the
one?
house. One of the NBA 2K games, I believe.
The newer one, or no, the one that's coming out, you get the neighborhood where it's like The Sims,
Oh,
where you have like you in order to do stuff, you have to like actually walk across town, go to the barber,
that's
or
so
go to
weird.
the tattoo parlor, or go to a gym, and there's multiple gyms in the area, and like if the 3 of us had 2K, we could all
We would
like
just meet at the same
go
gym.
to the same gym,
Oh,
like.
no shit.
But the problem with 2K is that their microtransactions are worse than EA's,
Yeah.
and nobody talks about it because EA is twice the size.
Yeah.
Like, you
yeah.
literally, if you make a character in NBA 2K, you have to pay money to get a haircut.
Mhm.
Like real money.
Real money.
That's
I remember the last one I
way
played
too
when I
much.
played like the My Player. I
It's
got up
not
to like
even-
level 75, and I pretty much hit a wall. Like, I couldn't get any better. Like,
Yeah. And that's 75 out of 100.
yeah,
And you start, like, the thing that pisses me off the most, in 2K, when I started playing them, it was unmatched, like, as far as basketball games go. You could be any kind of player you wanted, and you could act like any player you wanted. Like, I remember there was one game where my guy was literally a cross between, he was like Dennis Rodman, where he was smaller, but super fucking strong and getting good rebounds. And then he was also like Ray Allen, where it was either he was bodying a dude on defense or he was just launching 3-pointers.
right.
Oh,
But
And
like,
then you
so
could
my
hang out
my
with
play
Kim
style
Jong-un.
was locked in. So like when you're playing online against people, it's like you have to learn how to play against them, and it
Yeah.
will pop up like my guy will have. It'll be like I'll have the rebounding icon and then the 3-point icon, and that always threw everybody off. But then there's some dudes that'll have like just the muscle icon, which means they're automatically like they're super strong, and then they'll have like the dunk icon, and there's nothing you can do against it, and they'll
because
just
they power through
they'll
every fucking
they'll
ball.
just fucking elbow you and shoulder drive and just
Just
and
power.
it's like sports games now are turning into going back to you're being told how to play, and going back to even GTA, you have to pay money to play the way you really want to.
right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Sports games have a similar formula, though. It's like a customization formula where you have a team and you sort of like build your own team from scratch, and you can customize certain positions.
That's like Ultimate Team and stuff. You mean?
Yeah,
Right?
yeah. It's kind of similar in that way of like you have a character and build it from scratch kind
Mhm.
of thing.
Well, the UFC games really piss me off because you can't you can specifically train for clinch or ground or stand up, and then like kicks, punches, speed. But you can't specifically train for stamina, and that makes absolutely no sense. Like, I've been playing UFC almost exclusively for the past, like, 3 weeks, and my guy, every time I make a dude, I have to crank the difficulty up, because I'm getting ridiculous at the game. But it's like, if I don't go super hard in the first 2 rounds, I have no stamina by round 3 or 4. And it's getting really, really frustrating. I haven't played in a few days.
Right. So the new challenge in that is that they're forcing you to learn how to pace out your matches.
Yeah.
And figure out how hard you can go on this guy.
That's the idea, yeah.
That's what they want.
Yeah.
But the problem is the guy you're playing against, their stamina doesn't drain like yours
they're
does.
just fucking
Because you'll be max level, but your stamina, like, my guy's, right now I'm doing a boxer. And his stand-up is like a 95, and his clinch is an 80, and his ground game is like an 80. And I'll be playing against dudes that are, like, their overall is worse than mine, but their stamina is maxed out.
Right, the computer gives them more juice or some shit. So it really challenges the player.
I mean,
I don't do the online for UFC because I don't really feel like shooting up a building.
No, I can't do that. Yeah, because you'll be like the Madden guy, dude.
Yeah.
You don't want to turn out like the Madden guy.
Right.
Fucking dilly.
See, I'm the same way with, I don't like sports games that much. I play skate, but I get the same way. You were saying how, like, you have
stat
to
building. Yeah, it's the same thing.
Yeah, like, I got to the point where, because you can switch the difficulty, and that changes how well the game plays for you. And I've gotten to the point where I play on the hardest difficulty.
There's realistic or whatever.
Yeah,
too,
there's
where,
like
it's
hardcore, and it's actually you actually have to land your you have to line up your shit and get the right distance.
You also can't
that you
ollie
can
as
time.
high and shit too.
Yeah,
so you
have
can't
to
do like crazy stupid
you
bullshit.
can't fucking jump up like a 5-foot stack.
I used to just, whenever I'd boot it up, just put it on realistic and just try and hit certain lines.
And you get to the point where if you force yourself into that, you get good at doing it, or at least tolerably good at it, and then you go back to like an easier, like one tier down, and you're like, oh shit, like
like why am I ollieing so high?
Yeah,
like,
you're ollieing high, and like it throws you into lines, so like you're going like.
I'm not mimicking you. Yeah. I know I'm gonna say something next, and I know Seth will instantly get what I'm about to say.
Right. It connects it for you, so you're not putting up much of a challenge on getting to where you want to be in the game.
That explains why you're so disgusting at skate, first of all. I've played with you a few times, and it's just like...
like some people, I don't know, I was never good at chaining stuff together and skate.
I could do
we
random
were gonna play
shit.
Tony Hawk Pro Skater
like
4,
skate,
it'd be a different fucking story.
What's the good one? Is it 2 or 3? What's the better one?
2.
Yeah.
2. Well, no, 3 is fucking.
I think 3 is the best.
3 is the best one. Yeah, 2 is where it got good. Yeah.
I could always do like weird flips and land them on like angles and stuff. But like when you got intricate doing manuals and like grinding, that was when I was fucked. But like the landing stuff and doing flips to me was all angles, and it was all about distance.
Yep.
Yeah, it's also
easier to pick up. But I was gonna say
it's also about knowing all of the stick movements. Too.
Yeah, that becomes like a muscle memory to it of its own, which is kind of funny because that's what skating is. It's all muscle memory at that point.
It's surprising how similar it actually is to like some of the moves.
Yeah, they make it fluid enough that like you can almost learn the concept of that trick by how the stick move, how you have to direct the stick, and you're like, oh, so it's like fucking a 360 laser flip is fucking, you're turning your foot and you're throwing the board,
and you start to recognize like you start to see like, oh, this is a varial, but with a 360 it's a 360 flip. Like you start to learn moves just from playing it, but obviously they're fucking not easy. I couldn't fucking, it took me like probably 4 years to learn how to 360 flip.
I still can't even ride a skateboard. It scares the shit out of me, dude. But you said when you were playing skate, you got to realistic mode, and even when you go a notch down, the game becomes piss easy.
Right.
The one game that I know you and I have played a ridiculous amount of, Super Mega Baseball, is the exact same thing.
It's weird
you
because
can customize every facet of the difficulty: pitching, batting, base running, and fielding.
Well, plus there's an ego level that goes from 1 to 100 or to 99.
Yeah, and so the ego level is a mean
Overall
of the
difficulty.
four difficulties together, and like while you play, you eventually get used to it, and then you start fucking destroying the computer. Then you have to crank it up a little bit more and more till eventually, optimally, you get to the max. But I got to like 70. I got to like 70 or 75.
I think I was at 80,
you
and
were
as soon as I
higher than I was,
or something like that. I think it was 80, and then as soon as I went past that at all, I was like, I'm getting crushed all of a sudden. So there's like a weird threshold.
I would love it if more games had a really in-depth difficulty mode. Like that's what I love about
that would be cool.
Madden.
I mean, there's sliders.
The sliders
and
are
the show
really
has
good.
sliders too. It's like very similar.
Yeah,
you can
the
tune
show's,
things.
the show's difficulty is good, and like the difficulty itself, you can change. You can change
Right,
tooltips and
you
automatic stuff.
You can tune some of them pretty well.
See, that would actually be really interesting for a game like Skate, because you could make it so like it's easy to do grinds or land onto rails, but keeping the grind is more
like,
of a challenge.
This is like your bail frequency, like
like a bail freak. That would be interesting concept,
and
because then you could do, because that's where the hard mode in Skate is. It's like it's still fairly easy to do
like
the
across
tram
the board,
shit.
right?
Yeah, it's across the board. So like doing all the vert stuff, it's more of being you're slow at vert,
right.
And then with all the line stuff like rails and manualing onto shit, it's more technical and you have to be fucking on point. But if you could make it so like your character could be better at doing manuals and like worse at doing some other shit, so it's like things feel natural and challenging in other spots. And
I think sliders are the key to like they should have that in every game. Like fucking you can fine tune your own difficulty. Like that's why shouldn't every game have something like that?
I think that's why I like sports games so much, is because I can tailor the game to how I play.
That's part of the reason a lot of people will be like, oh, I can't play sports games against a computer. Well, maybe it's because you haven't fucked with the sliders and it's too easy for you.
Yeah, there's like I got really bored at 2K until I realized how in-depth those sliders get. Cause they have sliders for everything. It's like how good you are at making layups, your frequency between laying up and dunking, like how often your teammates pass the ball.
Yeah,
how
even
often,
league sliders, like, oh, this is how often you get injured, or this is like...
Oh my god, the best one, dude, is you know how they have drafts for sports, right? Like NFL draft, NBA draft. You can change how good the drafting is. So you can change like whether or not a draft will have like three really good guys, or if it'll have like 5 or 6 really good dudes. And you can even change it to make it so, all right, the younger you are, the better you are at learning stuff. But then it gets to a limit where you stop getting better.
Right.
So you can change the progression and regression.
You have like a prime.
You can change whether or not players in your league want to go for money or go for fame.
Mm-hmm.
You can change it to whether or not the salary cap manipulation is the only bad thing, because the game will take advantage of it way better than you can.
Oh.
And like every time I do a my league and I have the salary cap even just like like $10 million too high, all of a sudden I'll get into a game and I'm playing against like Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, and LeBron James all at once. And like there's a few things that 2K's got to figure out that they're really fickle with, especially lineups. Lineups get really weird because in the playoffs, LeBron James plays almost every minute of every game. But when you get in 2K, his lineup minutes are the same as the season. So you'll be playing against LeBron James in the playoffs, and he'll still only play like 3 quarters. And that's not realistic at all. Right? And it's just like, I think out of every game I played, like I said, Super Mega Baseball has it the best, because baseball is split up in those 4 facets: pitching, batting, fielding, base running.
Right.
And you can customize all 4 of them.
Mm-hmm.
So if you were to play Super Mega Baseball, which is probably one of the easiest games to pick up and
Right.
play, and the most entertaining games we've played in a long time,
Yeah.
you can, like, say you pick it up and you're not that good at pitching. You
It's
can
like
make the pitching easier, but everything else a little difficult.
Mhm.
Yeah,
It's
that's-
like a perfect spot between like an arcade baseball game and a simulation baseball
Yeah.
game.
Right.
Skate, refresh my memory. It's not like Tony Hawk where you have skills, right? Because I know in
No.
Tony Hawk there
No.
were
No,
skills.
dude, Tony Hawk Pro Skater
Yeah.
4 was the shit though. I could fucking.
I was
dominate
more of
that
a
game.
fan of
Dude, I
3, but yeah.
Skate 3 was just a sandbox skate game.
So like if I had
And
Skate 3 on my console and you had it on yours, you could play it on mine the same exact way and
Yeah,
it wouldn't be
yeah.
different.
No
Okay.
doubt. Like, they make it more of the challenge is learning, like, memorizing what tricks you want to do, and then making it free so you can just go around and sandbox in certain areas and hit ramps in different ways. And
Yeah, that's
It
the one
doesn't-
thing I like about that is finding spots that
Yeah.
you want and being like, oh shit, I could do this here, or like,
Yep. And
Like-
like even fucking not even skating per se, you can just fucking get into weird spots in that game
mhm.
by just like stacking up objects and like climbing on shit and then like bomb
Oh,
it.
yeah,
Like
I didn't even think of
like,
that.
you
You can
can-
like customize the map, right?
Yeah, you can
You
move
can-
plant objects and shit like that.
yeah,
too.
there's like static items that you can put down and drag them around with your character, and they have their own physics.
Mhm.
And like you can drop shit down on the map and move over and go in the drop screen and drop shit down there, and then climb on this one thing and climb on another and get into a spot you're not supposed to
Yeah.
and fucking
Well, you can put
run off
cameras
a
down
thing
in certain spots too. Like, be like, here's where I want the camera to be, and you can shoot like little video clips or like shoot a photo from a certain spot or whatever.
yeah, what you have to do what you want to do, but and then go into a camera mode. That's the one thing that's kind of a
Mhm.
downside. And I hear they're making Skate 4. I haven't actually.
I would imagine so. I mean, they made it
But-
back compatible on the Xbox for a reason, I would say.
Yeah, if they wanted to improve the camera system in that, they should make it where you can go into a camera mode and
Yeah.
then set the camera in a spot,
Yeah.
and then be able to switch between certain cameras, and you get like maybe 3 or 4 cameras, and you can choose how you want that camera to be. So you could have a stationary camera and
With
they're
a
all
wide angle.
yeah, with like a wide angle, and then go over and have your second camera be a camera that just constantly moves in this one line and then goes back and
Right, yeah.
and it's always making the footage of that when you hit play and then you do the line you want to do, and then you hit stop and you can go back in the cameras and look at each one you set up and have it be like, oh, I gotta kind of hug this corner more, and then you could go back and fucking
Yeah.
start
'cause
over and do it. So instead of doing the thing you do and then be like, oh shit, stop the game, go back into camera mode and
Yeah.
then edit shit. You can go
Yeah, you could just
set up the camera.
You could almost direct your own skate
Yeah,
video just
right?
from scratch with that shit though.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
put some more meta to the whole setup of
And then you could have like
Cameras.
a social hub where you could like share videos and
the
things like
part
that.
of the community, and like then making aspects of it about like developing your brand or some shit
Yeah.
as part of the main concept, and customizing your own board.
Yeah, I think it was
more.
American Wasteland or something where you could like
Yeah.
design a logo, you like
Yeah.
slapping your stickers around and shit.
Yeah, you had your own fucking spray paint.
Yeah.
It was Underground had that, and then
Yeah,
American
Underground.
Wasteland made it more so that,
Yeah.
and
American Wasteland was the one where you'd like get props from like a bunch of different places you skated. And
yeah,
you'd put them all into the one
yeah,
part.
you'd have the Wasteland, the
Mhm.
Snake Run that became like this. It was this huge junkyard skate park that gets filled in, like that got filled in, and then you tear it up and make it a whole new park by going around and like
I like that game,
skating
too.
in places around like California and like specific like casinos and getting, because you skate on the object, you're like,
just for some reason it teleports.
It falls apart and you drag it off to this this fucking skate park that's got all these crazy objects. And the cool thing about it was it was kind of open world, so you'd go to a spot and then you could go to between 3 different cities.
It was cool because like at a certain point, like in the Tony Hawk games, you like ran out of how many things you could do in combos, and then they were like, hey, here's a sticker slap and here's like tagging things and shit, and you could put those in your combo, like get off your board and like tag something and be like, and then get back on in manual and you're still in your fucking combo. It makes no sense.
You had like a 5-second clock.
Yeah.
You had a 5-second clock between like getting off your board and doing something and then going back on your board.
You could like hit people with your board and shit.
Oh my god. And they had online in that too. If you got the adapter for your PS2 or whatever.
That was a really good game. I like that game.
It's just people hacking the shit out of it and just constant, like you'd go in and there'd be like tournaments which would be like who can get the biggest combo. And it would be, and whoever, didn't fail their combo, the timer would just keep going.
Yeah.
So like you'd have these matches that it's like, okay, so everyone's on this map and has to get the biggest
that's the thing
combo
is like
for 30 seconds. But then you got people who are like hacking the shit out of it so they can't fall or whatever, and they're just doing the same, constantly.
Because there was always cheats in those games where you would have perfect balance in your manuals and perfect balance on your grinding and shit.
I remember
like,
there was
skate. If you would play skate, like literally where you get the letter, you have to have a higher score than the other person.
Yeah, every time you fail, you got a letter, and it was.
And the timer wouldn't matter because you would just have a constant fucking combo because you would never fall.
Yeah,
I remember there was a glitch in Pro Skater 3 where I don't remember if you do a manual and then you go from a back to a nose manual?
Yeah.
Or a regular manual to a nose manual, and then you press the switch foot button and it re-centers your board, and then you just keep going. You just go teeter-totter and keep spinning. And then like I remember playing with like my cousin Drew.
Oh yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
because each manual and each grind had a different like balance bar, and then if you'd go
if
back
you switched
into
your feet, it would reset it.
Yeah.
Resets.
So you would wait until you would go as long as you could, and then you would get ready to fall off, hit like
and
L1, and then it would go back to the middle, and then you would like jump up, do like a kickflip, and then land back into a manual, and then it was broken. As soon as like my cousins and I figured that out, like we had to stop playing because that's all we would do.
Right? You're like, okay, we're just gonna play free skate and 2-player free skate and just whatever, because
we would go back to just playing time splitters.
Yeah, right.
But I remember playing. There was the one map, and there were like 2 maps in Pro Skater 3 where there were hidden areas. There was a Tokyo map where you had to like go up a ramp and do a grind, and you would do a grind and you would hit like wires and this sign would fall. Then you'd have to jump back down and go back up, do another grind and go all the way around and pick up momentum and jump off, and then you would like go out of the map and it would just be another map.
At a certain point,
I remember watching that on fucking X-Play.
Yeah.
And like I recorded it on the DVR and remember like watching it over and over downstairs and trying to remember it, and then going upstairs to my PS2 and trying to do it again.
At a certain point, like the Tony Hawk games got like a lot more open. And what was weird was the first game was like timed. Like you'd only get like a minute and a half for every time you played. Like it was
I liked
it was arcade,
and you'd never hear the end of any of the songs on the soundtrack because you'd only hear the first minute and a half of them.
Yeah,
I just like I like 3 way too much because I remember it came with my PS2, or maybe it came out right after I got my PS2 and I got it. And
3 was like the peak of the old way of
like, because 4 was a little more open. The maps were huge. Like 3 was very condensed, very concise. Every map you knew what tricks you were able to pull off and which ones were easy and hard.
Yeah,
I spent a lot of time in those games, and I never set foot on a skateboard in my entire life.
Mm-hmm.
I got on a skateboard once when I was like 11. This kid I knew, I don't know where he is now, but I hope he's doing well. I haven't seen him in years. His name's Alex Azzarelli. And,
I remember him.
Yeah, him and your brother and our other friend Zach Abraham at the time. I also know I don't know where Zach is. I hope he's doing well as well. We were at the basketball court at Fitzhugh, and they wanted me to learn how to skate so we could all go skating together. And I remember skating around the basketball court, and they had me do an ollie, and I ended up landing wrong, and the board went right up and fucking hit me right in the nose, and it was just blood everywhere, and I was like, I'm never doing this again, and I ran home.
Yeah, you can land, there's some bad ways to land on a skateboard.
Yeah, and that was like, I still won't even do it. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
it's such a weird.
It's such a brutal hobby. Like
yeah.
like Sam skates every day, all
You'll
the time.
get your shins beat up
and
bad.
he gets the shit beat out of him. And now he motorcycles all the time, and he gets road rash like once every few months. And I'm like, dude, don't do that. And he goes, but it's so fun. And it is, but it's like, dude, come on.
Well, we're out of time for this part, at least. I have to piss anyway.
Right.
So we'll take a $5. Clear Shots is available on any of your favorite podcast platforms. ClearShotsPodcast.com is the best place to find all of our social media links. You can find us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter at ClearShotsPod. Thank you for listening, and we will see you next time.